official.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
Let's go.
we're starting the Urine Therapy Beginners Class 101. We have Jake on the line with us so far. The question was posed as difference between fresh and aged urine.
Right.
Get you right? That's the question?
Correct.
Okay, let's make this official. I was eventually setting up a broadcast studio out of my bedroom. So lighting, a green screen.
Hey.
I have a green
Yeah.
screen. I was in a hurry.
Uh-huh.
So if you go back thousands of years, when this all started, that's historically known documentation is the Damar Tantra scriptures, in which Shiva lays out a 9-year course to his partner Parvati, how to heal everything and how to achieve physical immortality. Back then, all they talked about was fresh.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's fast forward to 1944 enters John W. Armstrong, The Water of Life book.
Hold on, just there. I read that it was 1932 that he published that. Or was...
You might have been correct. My records show 44, and then they republished it in 1971. And
right.
Dominique has made it.
I think I read somewhere about 1932. Anyway, yeah, go ahead. I've read that book.
Let's bring the question back up to Dominique. Is your camera on? Look at these lovely faces. We need another lovely face. All right, so she's muted. All right, Dominique, you can talk in the chat group if she wants to not be on camera. Chat here. And I understand some people have chosen to just be silent students. You can understand why. All right. Yeah. She, I just asked her to unmute it. All right, Dominique, I hope you can hear this. So the question was the difference between aged and fresh urine, and if there's any one preference over the other. I just ad-libbed that part. But whether it was 1930, what'd you say, 34?
32, I think, was the first kind of when he started putting it together. I can't remember. It was an earlier date than 1944, but I have also seen that one referenced. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so John Armstrong, there may be some references in some Ayurvedic texts and some Buddhist texts. Dominique is, what is she doing? Oh, she entered with 2 different devices. There you are, Dominique. Yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
Sorry,
I'm late.
You made it. Congratulations. So we're trying to get Sandy to join in. Let's see if she figured it out. I am being asked for a passcode. That's simple. It's 1212, guys.
I know that. I don't know. It's something with Zoom. I had to go through the hoops to get on. I had to use my laptop. I was back and forth. I don't know what it...
All right. So eventually I'm going to answer your question there, Jake. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah.
Either Sandy's going to get on or I'll do a private class with her. We'll figure it out. So between 1934 and 1944, John W. Armstrong, he wrote the book Water of Life. You might be familiar with that book. She happens to have it in her collection.
Yeah.
Ding. So his theory was that aged urine begins at 4 days old.
Right.
So that was the measurement in time that he laid out.
Okay.
If we fast forward to 2018, 2019, enters Harry Matadine, and he starts talking about and writing about aged urine, and then I'll answer your question in just a minute. And then I met Dr. Rosalind Hanson at the Water of Life Symposium in Las Vegas in 2018, and she says, according to her calculations, 9 months is the beginning time for aged urine. Well,
okay.
All right. So I've been teaching people the last 4 years that we need to update our terminologies and get out of superstitious thinking and get out of traditional thinking, because it limits us in our ability to get the most benefit from our own natural source of water.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, the moment it's gone through its purification process with the nephron, when it goes through those millions of filtration systems and goes through the urethra and ends up in the bladder and it's ready for you to collect it, the moment you collect it, it has begun its evolutionary process. Okay?
Okay.
4 days, 6 months, 9 months, that's just a continuation of the process that's always going on, in which it is maturing, evolving, and becoming more potent. Now, the personal choice comes to people as whether they should use fresh or whether they should use aged. Well, like I keep teaching you, did I guys send you the wisdoms, the Shivambu wisdom chart?
Ooh,
Yes, on
I don't know if I
Messenger.
said that. I don't know if I saw that one.
It's a yellow piece of paper or whatever. And basically, as I said, it's a intuitive process. So whether you want to use fresh or whether you want to use aged, you're going to get the benefits. The people who jump on aged and used evolving, I'm going to use that word again. They use evolving. They have it in their belief system that it's more potent. All right. So it's going to act more potent, and it is more potent. But the challenge people have is that they still have a negative association with the word aged, aging. It sounds like an old man. Oh, the urine's aging. How can that be any good? So
it's like mature cheese, something like that.
mature
Not that aged cheese.
or kombucha.
Yeah, kombucha, right? Matured. It's sourdough, or something like that.
The majority of people on the planet, they have no problem using age topically. All right.
Yeah.
The ammonia smell, which everybody equates with urine, according to Dr. Ron Hansen, will outgas over a period of time, and that ammonia smell will go away. And then there's a new guy who showed up at the Shivambu hut, and out of his brilliant urine mind, he says, just blow on it, and that smell leaves the jar.
Right.
Real brilliant. Okay, so have I answered your question yet?
Yeah. I mean, it's all interesting stuff. There's also the fact of the stem cells multiplying. That's really fascinating.
Sandy is.
I'm intrigued about that.
Sandy, hi. Unmute your camera. Can we have all eyes on the camera?
Dot. How's it going?
Bring anything to drink, Dominique?
Of course.
A girl after my own heart. Sandy is connecting to the audio.
Okay.
All right. How much time does everybody have to do this class?
Some time, an hour, something like that. I don't know. I mean, however long you've got, really, is probably more accurate.
I've got nothing until 2:00 this afternoon, and I'm having an historic meeting this afternoon. The city of Boulder has given me their blessings to host a table on urine therapy in a main plaza downtown.
Andy?
Hey,
Join the
done.
meeting.
Drink to that.
And I had this vision 3 years ago. I walked the street. I looked for the location. Hi, Sandy. Welcome to the call. So I was just saying that I got permission from the city of Boulder to have a permit to present urine therapy on their popular gathering mall called Pearl Street Mall. And do you want to be on mute? Your microphone's on mute.
Yes. No, that's nice. Thanks.
So on the 29th and on the 2nd of October, I'm going out to the street with a table with a sign that says, where is that sign? I should have having these all over the place. Oh, there it is. I got a sign made from Vistaprint. It's going to say this. Is that backwards?
No, it's
right.
Okay, we've got a cameraman with a tripod. We're going to do a live stream, and then we're going to record it.
Excellent.
awesome.
And I'm working on rounding up some of my students so we can plant them in the audience and nobody knows who they are.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so grab your water. We're going to do a quick prayer. The prayer is in this book. If you guys ever want to learn this prayer. You know what call or response is when you do chanting in kirtan? Okay,
Sure.
Grab your water. I'll say a line, and then you repeat it, and then we'll be done with the prayer.
Okay.
I take this water of life.
I take this water
of life.
I declare it the water of life.
I declare
the water of life.
As I bring this water within this body, it allows me to glow.
as I bring
this
in
water
this
within
body,
this
my
body,
body.
allows me to glow.
I take this water of light.
I take this water of light.
I declare it the water of God.
I declare it the water of
Water
God.
of God.
I am the master of all I do and all that I am.
I am the master of all that I do and all that I am.
So be it. Mm. 24 hours. That's a good year. Okay.
It does start to go cloudy after a while, doesn't it? I found.
It might.
If it's correct, it's kind of like clear. Like I've got some on my
Very clear.
Yeah, this is like over a month old.
Oh, okay.
That's darn good. For those guys that are on a fruitarian or a raw food diet, you'll notice that it has a smell, a look, an aroma that is like, can't get enough of it.
Yeah, it's like that.
And you can't explain that quite well to get that idea into the minds of the people. Go, you're drinking what? And I look at them and go, you're not?
I thought everybody was.
I thought everybody drinks their pee. So we're going to go back. We're going to start with the history here. We're going to go back 5,000 years, and Shivambu all started. There's a difference in the spelling. You might have noticed this online. Some spell it Shivambu, but the traditional spelling ends with Ambhu, which is the Sanskrit word for water. So literally it translates to the water of Shiva or blood of the Lord. Now what we got in our hands is ultra-filtered blood plasma.
Right.
And what I love about that is where we get to talk to people about the fifth state of matter. And this is going to tie in with 5D, fifth dimension. This is going to tie into anything related to that five, because you know what the four states of matter are? Solid, liquid, gas, ether or air, plasma, number 5. What was the TV screens made out of a few years back? Plasma. What do we drink that comes out of our body? Plasma. What do the first responders give to the patient in the ambulance on the way to the hospital? Plasma.
Okay, so, interesting.
Maybe we'll find out the vampires are really wanting plasma. So Pavarti, what she did was she outed her husband. She says, Shiva, how come you're so young looking and healthy and vital and sexy and you don't age? What's your deal? He says, well, drink of yourself and live. So he lays out the Damar Tantra, which is a 9-year program, how to heal everything, as well as how to achieve physical immortality. Now, that's really great 5,000 years ago. But as we fast forward to 2021, a lot of the things that came out of these traditions were based on superstition. Were based on traditions that don't seem to be valid for 2021. For example, a lot of people still believe that you should not drink the beginning of the urine, the first drips that come out, and you should only drink the midstream and get rid of the last part of it. And that's based on the superstition that it was a symbolic of a snake.
Yeah.
It might bite you or snap you. So they do that. But as many of us come to realize that every drop of our water is precious.
Agreed.
And as I wrote in the Shivambu wisdom chart, that it works regardless of your considerations. Whether you think it should be a man's pee, a woman's pee, a certain color, gender, black, white, orange, yellow, green, whatever, whether it be an old person, a young person, whether it be a healthy person or a sick person, that's not going to affect it. Some people ask, well, should I store it in glass? What if I store it in plastic? Won't it leach? No, it alchemizes everything. It improves the quality of everything. Did I answer any of that?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So if you come across from students or from newbies or anybody has questions that sounds like there's a superstition or a dogma behind it, Harry Matadine and I have been helping people get free of all their dogma around doing urine therapy. Well, what if I'm on medication? Well, what if I have this disease? Well, what if this and what if that and what if this and what if that?
That is something I want to know about, actually.
Okay.
With my mother, she has one kidney, and she has a medication which kind of maintains the equilibrium with the other kidney not being there functioning. So that's something I would like to know your opinion on. Just
Okay, so the question
a
is,
little opinion
could you
on.
state the question?
So my mother, would it be okay for her to practice even though she only has one kidney
Absolutely.
and she's on medication?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I would tell her, though, that if she's going to do oral and topical, that would be better for her.
Okay.
And I would suggest if she wants to do urine therapy and still insists on doing the prescription medication, is to do oral 2 hours on either side of the medication.
Right. Okay.
Because the body will see anything that is harmful or invasive or a threat to itself, it will go after it and get rid of it.
Okay, so you're kind of going like, right, correction, everything in the middle. And so it would kind of deal with whatever was left over that wasn't totally necessary.
Yeah, what we're doing is we're dealing with the mind of this person.
Mm-hmm.
And if their mind is scared and says, I have to have the medication, I'm not going to shatter their belief systems.
Okay. But the function would still take place even in spite of, yeah, okay.
Yes. Now, if she's doing topicals as well, foot soaks, enemas, navel soaks, eye rinses, etc., all the protocols, you can get them from my books or from me.
Okay,
if
yeah.
Doing that, there is a moment where people realize their craving for drugs and their addictive chemistry that causes addiction. All of a sudden, it's gone. And you'll see these people have been getting urine therapy for about 3 to 4 months, and they're going, I don't crave cheese anymore. I don't crave meat anymore. I don't feel like smoking pot. I mean, all this stuff is like it flips in them, and they can't explain it. They don't even have to explain it.
Yes, that was me.
Yeah, you've been there.
Yeah.
So that leads me to saturation dosing.
Okay.
Have you heard that term yet?
I've read it on your website in the protocols.
Okay, saturation dosing basically says don't be a wimp with your water. Don't be shy with your water. Don't just reserve yourself to drinking 6 to 16 ounces a day, but incorporate as many of the protocols as you can, because there are things stored in your tissues, in your lymph system, in your intestines, and in your lungs that could take a while to clear out.
Right.
I'm from the holistic background. I started in 1979. So I was called holistic health practitioners back then. Now we're called wellness practitioners. Same thing, but we approach the body from the 4 pillars of health standpoint. In order to get well, you need to balance mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual aspects of the body. So the people come up to me and say, well, I'm going to drink my urine. I'm going to be just fine. I said, I'm not a doctor who says, take these every day, have a good life. All right? If you just tell people to drink their urine, they don't change their diet, they're still doing drugs, they have a terrible attitude, they got no connection to spirit, I would say they got some improvements to make. Because you get some people say, well, I've been drinking it for 3 months, I didn't notice anything different. I said, did you change anything? You understand where I'm coming from? It's going to bring personal responsibility to people. Any questions before we go on? Who brought questions? Who brought questions?
No, not right now.
Jake's the main question guy.
I have a question. The process. I've been drinking, just to give a background. I've been drinking my urine most all day. I mean, I loop it. Sometimes I find that if I drink all of it, I have to pee so much it becomes. I mean, I'm just in this pee cycle. So I do sometimes not drink it, but share it with the plants and whatnot. But I've been doing that for about a year, and it's been a really sweet progression. And then recently I've started using a nasal syringe, and that's been significant. And I've used it topically a couple of times, but I was interested in 2 things. one, drinking with a straw through your nose, I can't quite get an understanding of that. I do snort it, and I do use a nasal syringe. And after doing it for, I guess, 3 weeks now, there's still stuff coming out. Like, where has that been? Like little specks of stuff. And today I had a big discharge, and I was like, wow. I was doing some inner child work yesterday, and I think that's the result of it. But and then the other question is, I have started aging my urine. I do have two pieces. I have a big 5-gallon jar that's outside, and it's changing colors. And then I have a smaller container inside, and it does have sediment at the bottom and a little bit at the top. Do we need to shake that up and use that topically and get all the sediments, or do we want to keep that sediment by itself, or do I need to put a dropper in there and pull out part of it? I don't know quite how to utilize my aged urine yet. So those are the two pieces that I'd like to understand a little bit better.
Great question. Just a reminder before I answer the questions, Shivamba is in intuitive medicine. I'm going to give you my take, but ultimately it's yours that is most important.
Okay.
So you're interested in using a straw versus the syringe?
Well, no, I think in our conversation just the other day of drinking it with a straw and getting that tissue up here soft, I just don't know how to do that. Do you literally close your mouth and inhale through your nose and it comes up that way? I just don't have I'll try it, but I don't know how. I don't even know where to begin, really. It just feels really alien to me. So I don't know.
Okay, Jake, answer the question. I'm going to get some samples of things you can use for the nose. I'll be right back. Do you need me here right now?
Yeah.
So, Sandy, I've tried this before, and it's a bit like I've tried just like taking a cup and just kind of like just putting my nose to it, and it's kind of like going. It's like when you if you ever have that thing where you have an itchy back of your throat and you go it's a bit like that, and you go it's a bit like that, so that you kind of close off your mouth and you just go, and you try that. You might cough and splutter the first few times, but it does work, and it's quite easy to
So you kind of just close your throat a little, and then you inhale, you breathe it up through your nose.
I'll try it now.
What you do is you got used to dropping your jaw.
There you go.
Drop your palate, because you re-educate your body to take the fluids higher up in the sinuses into the brain. That's what we're aiming for, is the pineal gland. So let me show you a couple of things. There's this.
Thanks, Jake.
There's this thing right here, and this is basically, it's a commercial saline, what they call a saline enema. And what I did was I bought it. It was like $2. Emptied it out, and then you could use it to power shoot it up your nose. I'm not telling you have to get it. I'm just saying this is something when I started doing urine therapy publicly and doing all these protocols, every time I'd go into a store, in a drugstore, something would jump off the shelf and go, you could use that for drinking and nozzles in your eyes. So there's this version, right? And you're probably familiar with this kind of syringe.
Yes.
Yeah, this one holds 20 cc's. And you can use it either through the nose or ear cleaning. And then the nebulizer got popular about 2 years ago. Now, what I was teaching was to use a nebulizer that diffuses essential oils. But the guys in UK figured out this little device. It has a mesh to it, so it makes it a fine vapor gas when it comes out. And so this is if you want to infuse it up your nose or on your eyes and your face. It's a mesh nebulizer. Sells on Amazon or eBay for like $30. I had a link for a while. So I don't remember.
It looks like it has a mouthpiece.
It has there's a mouthpiece. It also comes with a mask for adults and for kids. There's a mask that comes with it.
Yeah.
I've been using a little syringe. It's a children's syringe that you clean a baby's
ears,
nose out. and I've been using that, and that gets up here. But I mean, the idea of drinking it, I guess I'm imagining like I would put a straw in a cup and somehow I just don't know how I could drink it through my nose with a straw. But maybe
Okay,
I'm just misunderstanding.
I'm going to give you a link to Samuel Cohen's free book. It's called drinkingthroughthenose.com.
Yeah.
And did it go through? Did it go through?
Are you putting it in chat?
Wait, I'm going to put it for everybody.
I'm Zoom challenged today. Okay.
Drinkingthroughthenose.com. Now, Samuel Cohen has lots of videos on his YouTube channel where he's drinking. Now, this guy took it to a whole nother level for me. He drinks urine through the nose. He drinks wine through the nose. He drinks coconut water through the nose. That guy's probably drinking a salad. I mean, what he's doing. But I've seen several people in person, and what they simply do is they just start it on one nostril. Some people will close their ear and close the other nostril to force it off one pathway. But you got to play around with it because you want it to come up, and then it glides down the throat. It feels a little awkward at first because you've never used that way. So it takes a lot of practice. Even if you try 1 or 2 drinks until you go, I'm going to give it all I got, and you can do it. Now, I typically don't do a lot of glass nose drinking. I use my hand and just sniff it up. And when it gets,
I've done that. I don't know if it doesn't feel like it's going quite as far as it could when I do the snorty piece. But okay, thank you.
Yeah. If you want to clear out mucus and stuff from your nose real fast, snorting does it. And then once you get it in one nose, you just blow out the opposite sides until you figure out how to clean it. Jake, go ahead.
I have had severe like nasal issues for years and years, ever since I was small. But I've started using a Neti Pot, and I just started yesterday. No, 2 days ago. But then I tried today with urine, and it's amazing. It's just totally like clearing out this whole, like, it's just, I can really breathe really well. So yeah,
Well, Jake,
Neti Pot is good.
When the Shivambu was going through one side or the other using the Neti Pot, do you ever stop and snort up while it's going through, or just whatever vapor, whatever fluid goes up is whatever?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still practicing, so it's just coming out, and then I'm just kind of like going, and then I do the other side, but I'll give that a go as well.
Okay, yeah. There's plenty, like I said, there's plenty of YouTube videos where guys are drinking Shivambu through their nose. And it takes a little bit of getting used to, because most people will probably say, well, if we were made to drink through our nose, we would be drinking through our nose. But the people who claim it uncalcifies or reactivates their pineal gland, the third eye point, what do they know that we don't know? So it's like a personal choice and a personal challenge if you want to ever master that. If you go to Shivambu Hut, Stampana Osintoni from Botswana, she has a video and she drinks an entire glass through her nose. I don't mean the glass, but the urine. So there's plenty of examples, Sandy, if you're looking for that.
Okay, I'll check it out. Yeah, I mean, I guess my feedback too, if we're drinking through our nose, putting it in context, we didn't have the toxicity. We didn't have fluoride, chloride in our water. We didn't have all these contaminants that are in our sinuses previously. So we're using something different to get at those versus, I mean, I think it's just evolving the practice potentially.
Yeah, I agree. And I spend a lot of time sharing the contents of information online and in social media. So when someone has come up with a new inventive way to introduce Shivambu to the body, man, I pick up on it quick. So you just kind of watch what the guys are doing in the movement. And I think you guys are going to find approaches and methods that I missed. I'll be your students.
Come together.
Exactly. Are you holding a syringe? Dominique, what are you holding?
Oh, no, it's a pen.
It's a pen.
Okay.
By the way, The syringe I showed you, this one right here, is 20 cc's. But I went into the pharmacist over at Target. I said, "You got no? These are being sold as earwax removal kit." I said, "Do you have any earwax? I'm looking for a syringe I can use to put things in my ears." And they said, "Well, you can have this 10 cc's. You give them away free.
Ah,
Go to pharmacy and said, I want one of your sample syringes."
Oh,
Okay. This is what I've been using. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, bulb.
enema thing.
Yeah.
Now, what does that hold?
It's a-
2
it's a-
ounces?
I don't know. I've had it for a long time. It's used. It's classified as an infant syringe. Like I used it when I had small children to help pull out the congestion in their nose.
And that's soft silicone? Is that what that is?
yeah.
I think so. It looks.
Yeah. So that looks like the one that some people use for implant up their bum. They do it for implants. They just want to put 2 or 3 ounces and let it stay there as long as they can.
I haven't tried that. Yet.
Darlene Tehan, which you'll see on the call tomorrow, she's one of our urine therapy master teachers out of British Columbia. And she has her clients who are not even doing urine therapy just to do a 2 or 3 ounce implant, like before bed or something. And she says that's going to be delivered through the mucosa up into the lower bowel.
Interesting.
Versus
There's a call tomorrow? I'm not familiar with that. Is that on the website, or you have to be invited to that?
Oh, you're invited. I'm inviting you. This is the World Urine Therapy Conference call number 19. That's how long I've been doing these things. And we're going to have guest speakers. Harry Matadine out of UK. He's already confirmed he's coming, maybe with his girlfriend. I want to hear a partner's version of what's it like to be with a pee drinking guy.
Right.
For you people who are still shy about letting your parents or your partners or your kids know, that in itself is worth a conversation.
Oh, my son already knows. He jokes with me all the time. It's the funniest thing ever. But I'm just very open with him. But yeah, it's funny.
What would be fun is to get over to Texas and you and I do a presentation out on a popular plaza and see how well you hold up. Because I know Sandy, I
presented it to some of my.
I got permission from the city. You want to go first?
I've told several of my friends, and shared the information, and they look at me. I mean, I'm a little bit edgy, but I haven't had anybody go ooh, but they go, oh yeah, I've kind of heard about that, but there's not, I don't have any like someone that wants tell me more. I did invite one of my friends from the UK to join the call. She's moving, so she wasn't available today, but I share if someone's interested. Like, what are you doing? You look so much better. I was 150 years old. 5 years ago, I got poisoned, and this has really made a big difference in my composure and my presentation. So I'm open. Yeah.
So I got permission from the city of Boulder to set up a table in a very high traffic downtown plaza. And I'm going to be there with a cameraman and a table and a sign that says urine therapy does the body good. And I'm going to take whatever they throw at me and let's see how well I hold up, because we're going to document this. And this is the beginning of a documentary that's going to be called Following the Shivambu Trail, in which we take camera crew around the world. We take a camera crew and we set up in different towns. And the whole idea is to create outreach programs so that people like yourself can create your own support groups in your town.
I love that idea.
Now, in 2019, I started this organization called Shivambu. It's a nonprofit in the United States. And we got permission from the downtown public library to hold meetings. And we put it on Meetup, and we got permission from a local downtown website that allowed us to promote it on their website. Well, we had 8 to 10 people showing up every time. And what we're doing is teaching people how you can do this offline in a public library. Ironically, the same library that supported me teaching urine therapy will not accept free complimentary copies of my books to put in their and their bookshelves.
Interesting.
Yeah, I have to know who's who to get in. The last time I checked with them, they said, well, you've got to get it previewed or reviewed by major book distributors or library book review people, and that could take a while to do that. So I'm looking for, maybe we'll send books to naturopath offices, wellness practitioners' offices, wherever we can, so they can put it out for their clients to read while they're in the reception area.
Or offer to sell them in health food store books. You know, they have them there. I've been to several health foods. I travel quite a bit, and just take them and ask them to sell them, and you know, on their shelves. It will reach the people that it's supposed to reach. I'm quite sure of it. It's such a
It will. That makes me want to go back. A lot of the health food stores that I've dealt with over the years, same with Barnes and Nobles, they have their own sources and distribution system all set up. So a lot of times they expect your books to be in those sellers list of books.
okay.
All right. Any question so far?
Oh, so fascinating. You're a fountain of information and good thought.
Well, in 2018 or 2017, I discovered social media was just ablaze with conversations about this subject. And so here comes a transmission, and a book came through me. And little did I know when that book got published that I would be on the public stage really fast. And in 30 days, I'm on radio shows and television shows. And an organization was formed in 6 months. And everything has been building, and now I got my finger on the pulse of the movement. And what we're doing is we're establishing newsletters, a worldwide directory. We get more people that are on the directory, and the directory is set up so that anybody can find a therapist or teacher wherever they live on the planet without having to look very far.
Mm.
And as many times as I said, I'm done. I did as much as I could for these guys. I'm going to walk away. I can't do it. I'm getting consultations. People are calling me because I do radio shows, and they're saying, could you help me out? I'm really nervous, and I need to help that. So I'm getting clients. I'm in Boulder. I've got 25 students. So I don't know where this is going, but I'm having a great time.
Awesome.
And now you guys are in the water family.
Yeah. I am.
Go ahead.
I'm just so intrigued by the whole process. Like it's like an integration of like, so everything's running through me, and then I can just read through it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
One of the prime things that people have learned is that not only is your source of nourishment and nutrition and aliveness sourced out from within you, but everything is sourced out from within you. I mean, it's more than just a metaphysical law, but if you think about it, what can't you do? Go ahead, Dominique.
Oh no, I was just moving my fingers. I'm sorry. I was popping my thumb.
I wrote in these books is the vision. Where are we going in the future? And the future is people are going to be self-sustained. People are going to be able to heal themselves, nourish themselves, because when you get to the understanding that Shivambu not only can satisfy all your nutritional needs, it can also satisfy your dehydration needs. And when people realize that you don't have to go out looking for food or looking for water, what's that going to do to Big Pharma?
Yeah, I mean, you only have to have like 1 pint going round and round and round. You don't need to drink.
Yeah, we're the ultimate recycling system.
Yeah.
Right, fuel up 1 pint. Okay. All right. Okay, that's 1 day or two days, a whole week just on one pint. I think that's so funny.
Well, Sandy, have you done some looping since you? You're doing it. Yeah, she collects and drinks.
Well, I usually I have a little process. I've been working remotely, and so if I have to go to the loo, I'll go outside. I have a cup. I drink it right away while it's fresh because that's my favorite. and then I just go about my business. I don't have it sitting. I mean, I don't have a smell when if I'll inhale it or use it on my face right fresh, and that seems to be the method I prefer. I did have it in a spray bottle, and it sat for a day, and then it had a smell that was offensive to me. I didn't care for that, so I maybe that's something to work through. I had to use aged urine. I don't know if y'all two other students are y'all doing aged urine too, or what is your practice with that? How's that going?
I prefer evolved urine. It just seems like it's more, I don't know, it might be mental, but my liking, at first I tried, I started off with fresh. And then once I read these books, it kind of made me more familiar with aged urine. And then I started saving, and then I would get out the sauna and I would take an urine bath. And the effects, it's just mind blowing. I feel like I cut my healing in half, like just by like the daily, I get a plastic container and I just stand in the shower, and then I warm it up just a little, just like body temperature in the sink, and I pour it in the bucket, and I stand and I just start from my ankles up, and I just keep rubbing and rubbing, and you just keep massaging, and you just feel the purge. I get very emotional, like anything that's shadow work that needs to be done, it's always revealed. So I always keep that in mind. Also tell people, because a lot of people might not be able to handle that part of, like the shadow work, and they don't know exactly what's going on. So I think that's like a major key to always remind people that you have to be ready to accept everything as a whole, and just, I don't know, it just takes away everything, fear, everything. I was, coming from a place where I was struggling, like with letting go of certain eating habits, and also smoking marijuana. And it was just like consuming me. And I was just like very sluggish. And I started with the fresh and then the age. And I prefer the age. Everything is age for me. This is age. This is age.
Oh.
Well, the book, what was the title? I didn't catch the title.
Oh, sorry. The first one is Aged Urine Discovery of the Century by Harry.
Okay. Discovery of Century. I'm writing it down. And I haven't been reading lately, but I'm making myself a reading list. Harry,
Yeah.
what was your title?
Huh? The title?
The first one.
I'm gonna have to go and get my
The title. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
power too.
Okay, Jake.
Aged Urine Discovery of the Century. Sorry.
The author's last name. Thank you. I got it.
Oh, Matadeen. Matadeen. Sorry, the mic was breaking up.
His books are on Amazon.
And I like it because it's short, so it's like, just simple, just kind of skim through it and see what interests you.
Well, how do you how much do you use in your shower, in your bath? A cup of
Actually, what I just started this. Before, I used to use probably like half of the, what is this?
Liter? Quart?
Huh?
Looks like a quart.
Yeah, quart. I used to use half, but after I would discard it. And I just recently learned through Monica that it's self-sufficient. So to save it, and it cleans itself. And I've been using the same one for about 3 weeks, and I just filter it with a cheesecloth and a strainer, and then put it back in the container. But I'll use a whole one, like the whole pint. But I reuse it, just wasting it. And I'm just amazed, like when you just watch it just clean itself, all the sediments and stuff go to the bottom. And I don't know, for me, what works best for me is I strain it, and it also helps with the smell. This is all like by my intuition. Like before I picked up a book, I just kind of like, was dabbling here and there. But then, but yeah, that's what I do. And you can save it and reuse it until you feel like you want something else or whatever. It's all you.
Got it. Well, I have 5 gallons of it in the front yard that I have covered with a coffee filter, and it's been turning colors. But I was wanting to try, how do I pour it out? Do I need to shake it all up, or do I want to get a cup out of that and use that? And then, hang on one second.
She can strain it out, or she can use it as is. It's personal choice.
Yeah.
Once again,
Yeah,
because
that's what I said. It's personal choice. I've used both. I just for my preference.
You said you use, so I have this copper thing
very
that I
nice.
got, and then I have it just sitting here.
Mhm.
But if I notice the top is a different color, and then there's the sediment.
Mhm.
And so I just wonder, do I want what's at the top versus the middle? Or you're saying you filter and take that out and then use this part?
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
That's my preference. Before when I first started, I used the sediment as well. Like I just, was using it all. But as time went on, it got thicker in there, depending on what I ate. My preference was to strain it.
Well, this copper, using it in the copper, the smell is minimal. Now the smell, the one outside, it's in the sun, it's significant. But this, I mean, I have it in my bathroom and you can't smell it at all. I mean, it's just, I don't know what the copper's doing, but it's really, and it's just a container I got at a, pardon?
And maybe it's neutralizing the smell. I don't
Maybe transmuting it, because a lot of people, they wear copper bracelets for that reason, or they have copper pyramids. They're used to using copper. Now, copper is one of the vessels or containers that were written up to use in the Damar Tantra. In the Damar Tantra, they said, well, you can use glass, which they didn't really have much back then, copper, brass, clay. They mention all these minerals, including plantain, a banana leaf.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever you need to. Now, the sediment stuff, some people are saying, well, they want to mix it up because everything that came out of the urine, even if it's evolving and is starting to form into these mushrooms, into these white substances, they claim it's white stem cells mixed with white blood cells mixed with stem cells. And if you let it dry in the sun and you let it dry over time, some people claim that alchemizes into ormus gold. If you know,
I've heard of that. What is that?
Well, the alchemical process of this is what the alchemists did back in thousands of years ago, I guess in England and other places. They would change base metal into gold. There was some alchemical process. These guys, these wizards, they figured it out. Well, white powder of gold or white ormus gold is right up there with the fountain of youth that Ponce de Leon.
Oh, busy man.
They were looking for a way to get young forever.
Oh, hold on.
So whether you strain it out or leave it in, that's a personal choice.
And how do you strain it, Dominique? Do you use cheesecloth?
Yes.
She's gonna grab her cloth. Bada boom.
Let's get some. I bought this cheesecloth from it's organic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just cut it. I actually cut the whole slab where it's layered. It's actually layered a couple of times. And first I clean this off like separate. I'll wash it separate. And then let me get the strainer so I can show you better than I can tell you.
You can also use sprouting bags. If you have a hemp flax sprout bag or a cotton sprout bag.
Yeah. I just strain like.
Yeah, it'll fit over the jar lid. You can use that.
And I just, you could either use this one like by itself. It has like strainer things in there as well.
The holes, yep.
And yeah, I just pour it in there, leave it on the top and pour it in. And it'll take a minute to strain. And, I do it once or twice and that's it. Sometimes I don't have to do it at all, depending on what I ate or whatever. It just depends.
Right. Dominique, what do you do with the strained material that you're not using?
Pour it outside. I just take it to the earth, let it do what you want to do with it. I'm like, I don't have any use for it, but maybe the earth does.
It does.
That's the best thing I could think of.
It does, because there's a lot of companies that are recycling from outhouses and urinals, they're taking and making fertilizer out of it.
Yeah. And it's like $1 billion company, along with everything else they're selling it for. It's crazy.
Yep.
Once I read that, I literally stopped using the toilet. I was like, let me just tape this up.
Oh, I got to that place a few years back. I go to my friends' houses. I have a collapsible cup called a hideaway, or I borrow one of their cups in their bathroom and clean it out when I'm done. Uh, but I don't wait. I don't
I'll have
wait.
to get one of those. A
Yeah,
hideaway. That
you know
sounds
what
like a
you know
good
what a hideaway is, right?
No, it makes sense. Like a foldable
Oh,
cup.
I'll be right back.
Like got ridges or something.
So, Dominique, do you only use the aged urine when you're showering? So my issue is using the shower with chlorinated water. We have chloride and fluoride in our water, and I don't want that on my skin.
The reason why I do mine in the evening, because the smell is kind of strong. So for me, what I'll do is I'll rinse off. I have a filter in the shower, a shower filter. And I try not to think of like all the chemicals and stuff that's in the water, because I just feel like I'm always protected, especially with the urine. And
Okay.
after I'm done with the orange rub in the shower, I'll wash off. And then once I wash off, I have a spritzer with like essential oils, and that helps so much. It helps a lot.
Okay.
But that's mostly what it is. It's just I prefer the age, but in the evening. It's all preference, just because of the smell, and I'm at home and I'm not going out anymore.
If you have a chance to go out in your backyard and get naked, nobody heard me say that. If you have a chance to go outside in your house, outside and get naked, it's the best place to do an aged Orin massage and then dry in the sun. If you have a lounge chair, you can go there without peeping eyes and you could really get the maximum use of it. I highly recommend it. I did 3 in 2 days after watching Monica and Tuche. And what a difference. Not only you can feel it recharging your skin, but I felt more clarity, clarity and calmness. And this is what you'll notice after using urine therapy for a while, that you're able to handle the things that normally would trigger you, that you would get a charge on. You're a lot calmer because you think it through a lot differently. The other thing I recommend is while you're bath, you guys still take baths with city water?
I know. Occasionally, I guess.
Okay, there are some people. There's a gal, Devi Mall. She's a spiritual teacher out in France, and she says she hasn't touched city water in years. She takes her urine into the bathtub and does her body, and that's it. But what I do is I'm filling up the bathtub, and while the bathtub is filling up, you either bring your Shivambu with you in a container or collect it while you're standing there and knock out 6 or 7 protocols at once. Pour it in your eyes, snort it up your nose, pour it in your ears, rub it on your body, gargle it in your mouth, in your scalp. You can get all 5 or 6 or 7 done right there while you're doing a bath. And then when you jump into the bath water, guess what? You now have homeopathic urine bath. Instead of waiting, some people go, well, when am I going to have 10 gallons of urine collected so that I can do a full out bath? Well, in the meantime, do a homeopathic version. It'll still affect you somehow. Go ahead, Jake.
I have a few questions. I'm trying to remember them.
Start with one.
I'll get back to you. Hold on.
Okay.
I'll get
He's
back to you.
checking his list.
Thank you, Dominique.
No worries. You're welcome.
If you guys want to stay in touch with each other after the call, just put your information in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then if you want, what I'll do, just put your email, whatever contact information. I'll copy it and then send it to everybody on Messenger.
Okay.
In case you want, unless you're taking the time to just write them all down.
I think you're answering a lot of the questions as you go along. I do have the questions, but then you come out with something, and then it's kind of ticked off. So
Okay, now
Uh,
Dominique has a signed copy of this book coming. Woohoo! In here is the 24 latest protocols that I came across up until the end of 2020. And there's several that I included in this book that weren't in the original book. Here, I only had 11 protocols. We're now up to 24. So I included the tongue scraper. Dip your tongue scraper, clean out your germs or whatever on your tongue. I included sip looping. You know what sip looping is?
You take a sip of each time.
Every time you collect it, take a sip. And that's like time release nutrition throughout the day. Now, that little bottle that you have, Dominique, that cobalt, is it blue or green?
It's green.
Okay, good. All right. So, what I suggest is you carry that with you everywhere you go. And so, when your energy starts to dip and your brain gets cloudy and you can't seem to access information, take a full dropper full under your tongue, and you'll notice things start to come back online.
Yes, that's what helped me with the food. Every time I had that craving where it's like, oh my God, I need it, I would just drop it. And I'm like, wow, I just always like, thank you.
Yeah, and what's fun is you're walking around now. This little hideaway right here, Jake. I had this. This is the hideaway. It's a collapsible cup. It's way cool.
I found one on eBay.
It comes in 17 ounces or 28 ounce, whatever it is. I'm walking around Pearl Street Mall looking for a place to set up a table, drinking my pee, and nobody knows that I secretly have it all in my container. That's the hideaway. So the other thing that I included in the book is navel soaks. You take a cotton ball and you soak it in the urine and stick it in your belly button. Anytime you can either tape it on or just lay it in your navel when you go to bed at night. The reason being,
cotton bud.
Yeah, was that a pad or a strip of cotton?
It's like cotton.
That'll work. There are 72,000 nerve endings in the belly button. Because when you were born, that was a big part of your life. But those nerve endings still are active. They're still usable. So when people put this in their belly button, they started having health improvements. And I learned that from Dr. Rajshak Malhotra in India.
I like that.
One of his recommendations is a belly button soak.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to getting this manual, but it should be here today.
Send a selfie.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Thank you. So, sip looping, the idea came from Doc Mike Whittord out of Chicago. He's one of our board of directors of the Shivamba organization. He's been at it for 20 years. And he's the dude who went to the Illinois courts and challenged the law in Illinois to give him the right to use the word cure. So he could say urine cures people. He proved in a court of law, and he won the court case, that doctors do not own the word cure.
Nice.
So if you go around saying, well, will it cure diabetes and AIDS and multiple sclerosis and this and that and the other thing, legally you can say yes, but off the record I wouldn't say that. The only reason I wouldn't say that is because we're not doctors. Just to keep out of their aim, I would say the body heals itself when given the proper nutrition, and that nutrition is absorbed, and urine is a fast track. It also empowers people to be their own doctor.
It does feel like a kind of like, I mean, I've been looping now for 2 days, I think, just like pretty much all of it.
What do you notice?
It's just this kind of like always like, yep, this is working, that kind of thing. And this is good. Yeah.
You're monitoring yourself.
Yeah.
What's the latest you got? This is a question to all of you. What's the latest you will drink your Shivambu before going to bed? And does that affect your sleep pattern?
I've drank it. It doesn't affect me. I read that it can affect you and keep you up at night, but my intentions when taking it, I just drink it and I say I'm gonna get a good night rest and detoxify, and I'm out. I sleep amazing.
I ask
I
because
need.
everyone's different. I still get up to pee twice during the night, but
Really?
yeah, I'll take a sip, go back to bed. No big deal. But well, maybe it's because I'm over 60. I don't know. Who cares? uh, Jake, did you have a comment?
I haven't looked at that bit yet. I mean, I'm only like I think this is like my 4th week or something into it. So it's like, there's things that I have to work out. But I mean, I'm just like you, when you said the other day on our little call, you said it's an intuitive medicine. That flipped something as well. It's not like something external that I'm going, here's a cup of water. It's like this mechanism. And so taking that as the essential form of it is that it's an intuitive medicine. So that's the basis I'm going on now. So that's changed. And I think for bedtime, I mean, I'm just kind of just taking it all at the moment and just seeing how it goes. I think like you, Sandy, I'm probably going to be like, man, I'm bored of having to go for a wee every 45 minutes. This is getting bored. But I think like the energy is such that I maybe only need like 7 hours sleep, whereas maybe before I needed 8, and I'm just kind of more awake. I think maybe it does keep me up a little bit at night, but I'll have to see how it does change my energy levels when I want to go to bed. I think and it also I didn't used to have to get up before to go for a week. Never had to do that, but now I do, which is an amazing change, because I thought that kind of thing was like in my childhood where I'd have to get up. Actually, it's kind of like, I need to go. So it's good. I mean, that's a good sign, I guess. I'm taking it as a good sign of health.
I remember getting up. I remember getting up to go to the bathroom to go pee in the middle of the night, and I thought I was aiming at my pee jar, and found out I was peeing on the windowsill and on the rug. And I woke up in the morning laughing my head off. I'm going, wow, I just cleaned the floor. It's the same when you're doing enemas. Some spills and it gets on the floor, but you got to have a sense of humor about it, because you're working with the most antiseptic, antibacterial water on the planet. So literally, you're taking the germs off the bathroom floor. You don't realize it.
Exactly.
Your friends may not understand that, but that's okay.
No, I understood it. I understood it.
You understood it.
Even when the glasses, like cleaning, like some of my glasses are so clean when I'm done drinking. It's amazing. It looks like I've used this like soap, and they've soaked in like the dishwasher or something. It's amazing. Yeah. Oh, and I was going to say, as far as sleeping, when I first started urine therapy, the sleeping, well, now I sleep a lot less. Mm-hmm. So I'll probably sleep about 5 hours, but I don't wake up during the night. So let me clarify that. So I do sleep a lot less. It seemed like the more detoxification I was going through, the body needs less sleep. So sometimes I'm up at 2 o'clock in the morning, like
ready to go.
Like, okay, let me get my enema.
Have you noticed? Now I've been doing fruitarianism for the last 3 or 4 years. I've been doing raw foods for 42 years. And I noticed that as long as I keep my diet on that mark, doing raw foods, doing fruitarianism, doing shivambu, I'm now doing raw spirulina. I found a source of raw, pure spirulina. It comes out of a farm on an aquifer in Florida. I don't sleep. I don't need to sleep as much. If you're meditating, you don't need to process as much. If you're calm throughout your day, your nighttime will be deep and you'll have quality sleep.
Makes sense.
Sandy, do you meditate?
I do. I'm in a deep study. I'm getting certification through an organization out of London, Biodynamic Cranial Sacral, And a part of that is a regular meditation practice. I usually a couple of days a week, three is my ideal, sometimes more, sometimes less, but I do. My idea, and this, I don't want to go on, but like the idea is living in the moment biodynamically. Like when we're in a treatment session, what arises and what wants to be met. And so in my mind, I'm like, I want to live biodynamically. I want to be in each moment. I want each moment to be meditation. I want to be connected. And I mean, there's of course times when
you don't want to
I'm
miss
not
out
there
on
and
the fun.
I
You don't want to miss
Pardon?
out on the fun.
Well, like yesterday, I had a session. I'm working with a lady on some inner child stuff, some preconception stuff, and I mean, I can feel it. It's over here, and it's definitely a drag. And I feel like as I'm using the nasal syringe this morning, I felt like some of that was clearing out as I was purging my nose, and there's definitely a relationship. And another point, I just find that fascinating that there's 72 nerve endings in this program. It took several years, but I had to do 3 case studies and a research paper and 200 sessions. And one of my case studies was a pregnant mom and her baby, and cutting that umbilical cord caused some significant influence in the baby in the next session. And I did a research paper on umbilical shock and started doing some research. And when we have our umbilical cord cut prematurely before all the blood has come out of the placenta, or even just cut and clamped without any kind of traumatic resolution, or like, hey, I'm so sorry, we're going to cut this cord, and the baby knows, we know, and our system knows. And so I'm going to try that navel. That my navel's real. I've been really focusing on umbilical shock, and lots of stuff coming up. So, and yes, I meditate to help move through those things. But I mean, it's a dance for sure. It's definitely a dance.
Well, good, because that'll help you with your sleep. It'll help you with challenges in life. That'll help you with every situation, particularly when people show up in your life off balance. It won't throw you off balance. Now, I'm having to do that because I consult a lot of people either online or locally. I do a lot of body work in Boulder. And the job of a body worker is to be at the place that the client's going to end up before you even meet or touch your client. And I've had to practice this for many, many years. Be at a point of deep relaxation and balance before the client ever comes into the room. They come in the room, they're going to start to unload, decompress, unwind, disconnect from their mind the moment they get in your presence. So that's something to think
Right
about.
on.
When you have
They
people,
call that the relational field.
What do you say? What?
They call that the relational field in the study. And I mean, I aspire to be in that all the time, be as coherent and regulated as humanly possible in each moment, and then realizing when I'm not, having a path and an orientation to get back there. Yeah. And my sleep, what I'll do, it depends, I think. But typically around 5-ish in the morning, I wake up and I have to pee, and I didn't used to have to do that, but I always consume it because it seems like it's so nutritious then. And then I'll have to pee pretty quickly. It's a different sleep cycle for sure, but I'm not tired from it. That would be my feedback on that.
Good, thank you. We got another 10 more minutes in our class. Does anybody have any questions or comments or something you would like to share with the class? Before I forget,
I have a question for Don.
Go ahead.
I have a question. Dominique, did you say you did the enemas too?
Yes. It's funny. I was thinking to myself right now, like, should I mention the enemas and how much they really help? For me, at first, when I was like reading the books, I was like, oh, enemas, like, oh no, like that's just, like we all have our standoff point where we're like, I'm not gonna try that. So one day I'm like, let me just try it. So I got the pump one from Amazon, and I tried it, and that topped everything. Like everything for me, just the feeling and just the detoxification. And I stressed out a lot because of coming from a place of just being just unhealthy, like the amount of toxicity that's coming out of my body and still is, I'm just like blown away. But the enemas just help really, like in the book, this book, Harry, he mentions one part. He says that it relieved the depression that he didn't know he had. And when I read that in the book, I'm like, what does he mean by that? And when I did the enema, it just released like this dark, like even though I was drinking it and everything, the rubs, nothing compared to the enema. It just removed like this dark shadow, and just my days are like, I've had like a whole pint of coffee. It's just, I don't know. I do it twice, the morning and the evening, just like brushing my teeth. It's just, yeah. Like when you brush your teeth twice a day. So you do your enema twice a day because you're eating and, you got stuff going in and out. But yes, I definitely recommend it out of all.
Okay.
It's just.
Jake?
I'm going to get into that.
All right, Sandy, I want to remind you that even back in the 60s, in the 1960s and 1970s, you had writers like Bernard Jensen, Norman Walker, Adele Davis, Dr. Ann Wigmore. All these nutritionists and all these experts would tell you when someone's sick, the first thing you want to do is give them an enema or a colonic. Because 9 times out of 10, there's toxic overload, there's impactions, there's pathogens, there's worms, you name it. The intestine is a focal point for healing. And a lot of times when people say they got back pain, abdominal pain, pain in the reproductive organs, wherever their pain manifests, oftentimes it's swollen intestinal areas that are pushing out in that area, and they go to a doctor, they'll diagnose it. If you go to a chiropractor, he says it's a spinal alignment. You go to a colon therapist, she'll clean you out. The pain goes away.
Oh, I'll try that. I've been, and you used age urine, yes, Dominique, for that?
For me, what I prefer is fresh urine mixed with a little bit of aged. Aged urine is very potent. You don't need a lot of it. So I don't know exactly for measurement wise. I just dabble with it, but I use just a very little bit of aged urine, and then the rest is my morning urine that I use because it's warm and it's just already like ready to go. I just mix it. A whole total of 16 ounces. I know some people do more. That's my preference. So I've heard some people do like gallons. I'm like, I'm not there yet. So yeah.
Okay.
Morning or fresh urine. If it's not morning, like in the evening, I'll just whatever comes out at that time or something that I've saved, then I'll use that and mix it. But I always dilute it because it's very strong.
And do you drink your aged urine too?
Yeah, I'll sip. Like this is aged urine, so I'm like, it's a month.
Is straight aged urine or water
Looks great.
mixed with it?
Looks great.
Huh?
Is it water mixed with it or just
No,
straight
this is
aged
just
urine?
pure aged urine. Nothing.
Wow.
It's not.
Okay.
I don't dilute it. I don't know. That's my preference. I just drink it straight. But yeah, I do sips, but mostly just rubs and enemas. I don't really focus more so on drinking the age all the time. I just mostly like the fresh, but occasionally I'll have a shot, to give me that,
Got it.
Sandy, some people use fill up the entire enema bag with their urine, whether it's fresh or aged. Other people, they have difficulty because if it's been sitting in room temperature and it's too cold, and there's a slight shock when it first enters your backside, you can add hot city water or hot distilled water so it's comfortable. It may not be the full strength. It might be slightly diluted or homeopathic. It's still going to help.
Okay. I didn't know if Jake had something.
I was just going to ask you, Dominique, whether you use a bag or use a bowl or what.
Here, I'll show you.
You guys have enema bags?
I don't have anything. I'll have to get something.
I'm going to buy it.
Okay, the enema bag that I've been using for years It's soft silicone bag. It's about 2 quarts, and it has an opening for the top. Then it comes with a tube and a pinch and an insertion piece at the end. And so what you do is you hook it up over a towel rack or over any place that you can hang it, so that you're going to be on the floor on a towel on your back, and the tube is be able to access your backside. When you unclap it, that's how you get the flow going through it. And then when you fill full, and when you fill full and you feel you can't hold it anymore, is when you clamp, stand up, get to the toilet as soon as possible.
Right. Well, this is what I use. It's just
Like
more,
that. Okay.
yeah, it's like a pump. Because yeah, it works pretty fast. So like what I do is I lay on the floor on my left side, and then I'll pump until it's whatever filling, and then I'll roll in a circle, like like they say you're on fire to roll. Like I don't know, like a rolling.
Yeah, stop, drop, and roll.
Get it in I don't know. That's just in my head. That's what my intentions told me to do. So I'll do the enema, and then I'll roll a couple of times on the floor. And then I'll put my feet straight up where my spine is coming. I don't know the name of the yoga pose, but basically where my whole butt is in the air.
Oh, like
air, so it's like, running down.
Yeah.
And I'll stay there until
downward dog.
Yeah, I'll stay there until I can't hold it anymore, and then I'll get up and go to the restroom.
Is this with your feet in the air, and you're like, it's like a back stand, like a shoulder?
Yeah,
stand,
it's like you support support the back part, and your legs are straight, and your rectum is up in the air as well. So basically, the idea is for the urine to run down the intestines, like to get through, basically to right before
Got you.
You can feel it, like you can definitely feel it, and then when
okay.
So it's just like a
okay.
feeling. I'm like, I don't know if I'm getting too personal, but yeah, it's just the feeling.
This is what I wanted to know.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay, cool. I mean, I don't know if you've got your mic turned off, but I can't hear you anymore.
And I can't see him either.
Nothing is beyond conversation with this class. Nothing is untouchable. I've told my students for years, the reason that there are beautiful penises and beautiful vaginas is because we drip on ourselves every day, but people don't get that connection.
What is
self-love?
I don't care how well you wipe or how well you tap. There's some that drips on you, and you stay
Yeah.
there. So
I have in my story, I got exposed to rat poison for years, and I was really, really sick. I went through this really significant detoxing process. And when I started the urine therapy, I noticed that I passed several tumors. I mean, they were significant. They had a different consistency. They had a look, and I was like, whoa, and it hurt. And so I'm super interested in the enema, and if there's still any remaining remnants of that. I have done some endocannabinoid studies with a guy out in Nevada. He and his wife, he has a distilling process where he takes the CBD oil and inserts it in the rectum. And he said the mucus membranes, like if I smoked cannabinoids, I would get 12% or something. If I ate them, I get 30%. But if he puts them up as a suppository, he gets 80% of the cannabinoids. So I'm assuming that we're getting the 80% of the urine therapy that way as well. That would be my guess. Yeah.
That's kind of how, like, what I feel as well. I haven't read anything in a book, but that's how I feel also. I feel like when I drink the H, it doesn't, because by the time it gets to the digestive system, it's kind of like weakened. But for the rectum, you're getting everything. I've had times where I felt like I could feel my arteries being declogged. Like I can feel like something like moving, but it was hurting, but it was like a good hurt. Like I can tell that it was to make something better, if that makes any sense. And yeah, like just because I couldn't even like move my leg a certain type of way. And also I had like a lump on the side of my breast that's almost gone. I had like a little, not a sty, but something that was like scar tissue on my eyelid, and that went away. And I've only been doing urine therapy 3 months. So, but I was so intrigued by, the rubs and the drinking. That's why I started aging like right away. I think I was like 2 weeks in, and I started reading about the age, and I was like, oh, like, let me try it. Like, and this is where I am now. So 3 months, I feel like amazing. This is the best I've ever felt in my life. Oh man.
and you're starting to tell people.
Yes, I am. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm just mindful of but my son, he's aware. He's like, I don't want to do that right now, but it's something that I might, want to do in the future. And he sees me, like he sees my progress and like my thinking and how fast, like I'm just so like a computer. Like it's like I feel him, his senses. I'm like, oh, are you, this, or like thinking what he's thinking. It's really amazing when you really tap into it. It's more than just, healing, and just being connected and one with everything around you, even animals.
Well, one thing you didn't do, and it's never too late to do this, and I recommend it to folks, is to do before and after pictures.
Oh, I have before pictures.
When you get started, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year later, what the changes are. If you go online, people have been posting this. Lee Sampson, who had like a car accident and broke her back, and she's been doing urine therapy for years and years, and her health is constantly improving, and she's been doing before and after pictures, and other people have been doing the same thing. So it's great to see your progress.
Yes.
And also, everything we talk about is to help everyone else. Jake?
Mm-hmm. I have one question. I have like loud noise, hearing damage because I make music and I've just been careless. I'm more careful these days, but my ears, I think, are prone to hearing like tinnitus. From when I was younger, I think I was allowed to run around. I was taken to music festivals and allowed to run around without any ear protection and just like, go stand in front of speakers, all this kind of stuff. And I think as I've got into making music as I'm older, and I've worn headphones and turned them up too loud, too long, I've ended up with tinnitus. It's fine, I accept it, it's part of my life. But I am wondering if you have any idea on how it might, like the stem cells, would they be able to improve the condition of my ears? I mean, I saw your little gesture, so I'm sure that's a sign of encouragement.
I would get a little drop of
I was gonna hold up my bottle like
yes.
Yeah.
And do the drops and hold it in your ear as long as you can before you tip and drain it, or put a cotton ball in there.
Okay.
And just keep on doing that and just see how that affects you.
Yeah, okay, cool, man.
So even if I give you guys testimonials what other people will do, that's nice to know, but unless you experiment, how will you know?
Right.
And you might come
lots to think about.
Yeah, collect your data.
Yeah.
There's an interesting point that we learn in my training that they talk about the original blueprint that's always available to us, the energetic blueprint that we developed from. And I feel like my research, I guess, is leaning me towards the idea of us being in utero in amniotic fluid, which is primarily urine, and our system is developing in that. And so I'm wondering, does the urine hold that blueprint, that original matrix, or that blueprint information that made us? And so incorporating that back into our system reprograms or helps clear out those glitches that potentially are in our electrical system that are forming our misalignments or dysregulations in our system. Just at least in my mind, that's what is happening in my system.
Well, the answer, and my answer would be the creator would have done it perfectly. You would have been a perfect divine creation by the creator, including being given encoded information and energetics built into your intelligence that knows what a perfect cell is. And so when the Shivambu is reintroduced back to the body, it activates that intelligence, and it knows exactly how to formulate the medicine, how to put it in all the right organs and tissues. There's some brilliance going on in each one of us.
So could you touch on the dimensional thing, the plasma? Could you touch on that again? That would be really I'm interested in.
Well, I was correlating all the different ways that people are explaining and discussing plasma on our planet right now. One is that there's states of matter: solid, liquid, gas, ether, air. Plasma is the fifth state of matter. Okay. Plasma is also related to 5D, fifth dimensional consciousness. People say, we're going to 5D, we're being able to tap into a much higher evolved consciousness. Well, some people say that's also connected to plasma. We're drinking plasma water. I mean, any way you want to track it, you'll find that plasma can be connected to all kinds of different ways. And you'll notice it's starting to come up in conversations now. There's an article I might have posted at Shivambu Hut. They discovered that plasma will heal COVID. Plasma will heal viruses, but they don't talk about that on the mainstream fake news.
Of course not.
This is a lady I'm studying with. If you can see it.
Yeah.
She has talked a lot about the, is it backwards?
No, that's
the fifth state of matter. Eileen Zay McCusick.
Mm-hmm.
And she uses tuning forks, so she's not into, she doesn't talk much about at all so far about urine therapy, but her concepts about plasma and how our bodies are formed and how we can recreate them. I'm still reading this book, so I'm in the process, but I find her, she's on YouTube and lots of different channels. She has lots of really good information.
Can you put any of that in the chat so people can have that?
Yeah, I can.
Is this chat set up that you could do a screenshot and send a picture, or no? I don't know how sophisticated Zoom is.
I'm on my computer. My phone, for some reason, I can't get on Zoom on my phone, and I don't have Messenger. I didn't have my.
Yeah, I couldn't get on my computer, so I had to get on my phone. That's funny. I was having the same thing.
I'm using a laptop.
I'll just type it in.
Just type in the title and the author. That's good.
If you, bro, sage, man, dude, what's your name? What can we call you beyond Sage? I'll just call you Sage.
You can call me Sage. You can call me Brother Sage. Just don't call me late for dinner.
Okay, cool. So Sage. I used to have a friend called Sage years ago, so that's familiar to me. And I haven't seen him in years. If you click on the chat thing, you press Control A, or if you're on Windows, or select all, then you can copy from that, and then you'll have the whole chat, which you can send to us later.
Well, I've got a Zoom app, and it says when you open the chat, there's a button for files.
Oh, great.
So I don't know if that'll work. We're going to try that, but
I'm sure that'll work.
As long as people get the title.
And I'll be happy if you send an email to us all. I can return a picture. But I think I mistyped your name the first time wrong. I'm sorry.
I got it.
Yeah,
I really dig her.
Lead us there.
She's super cool. She's super laid back. Very clear. She's super clear. I have a lot of respect for her.
Nice. So tomorrow is our World Urine Therapy Zoom call number 19. I've been posting the invitation link on my Facebook page. If you need it, let me know. We've had as many as 18 speakers on the screen. We've had at one time we had all the popular urine therapy speakers and writers. Harry was on the call. Samuel was on the call. Tuche.
Devin.
We had David Phillips, who wrote the book OMAD Orin Looping. We have not been able to get Monica Shute, but she's finally corresponding with me via Messenger. And so that Zoom call has a lot of potential. We've gotten up
I
to
don't see it on
500
your
hits. Go ahead.
page. I don't see it on your Facebook page. I don't think we're friends. I'm following you, but your brother Sage, I see the class that we're having today.
Are we corresponding
I
through
don't see it.
Messenger? Do we correspond through Messenger?
Yeah.
Okay, just remind me and I'll send you the link.
Okay. I'll do that.
When is this being held?
Tomorrow, 10:30 Mountain Standard Time.
I'm gonna be busy maybe around then.
It'll last for
Maybe
about
I'll
an hour
join
and a half.
later.
It lasts an hour and a half, and it'll be uploaded on YouTube, just like this
Okay.
call.
I was gonna say, you can go to YouTube and watch them all. Go a year back.
Cool.
Yeah,
If I miss it, I have a teaching to attend to, so if I miss it, then I will check it out on YouTube.
Okay, they're
Awesome.
scheduled every 2 weeks unless I have a conflict.
Oh, okay, they're regular, are they? Okay, great.
And if anybody ever wants to step up and be the host, that would be fun too.
Oh, give me some time. I might take you up on it.
All right. Well, also, if you want to be listed in the Water Family Directory, if you're willing to be available to people who reach out because they need someone to talk to about this, let me know.
I can definitely do that because I'm a kind of person who I see something that I value and I can kind of like, I mean, in the past I've definitely been quite dogmatic about it, but now I think I approach things in a steady manner. So I see all the value in this, and I'm very happy to be able to show my confidence in what other people are doing and what I'm doing. So you can put my name down for that.
Well, you're going to need to send me a few things through the messenger, either messenger or email. What I'm asking people to send me is their name, their email, their phone number, or not if they want to keep it private, their website, and then their skill level, whether they're beginner, intermediate, or master. So if you guys want to step up your game and be on a worldwide directory, let me know.
I'll send you.
I'll send you a message.
Information. That sounds fun.
And Dominique, your secret won't be secret very long.
Uh-oh.
Well, not that people you know are ever going to see the directory.
I'm here for whoever needs whatever. That's what we're all guided to do. I don't know. That's for me.
That's a spirit. That's a spirit. All right. Any last words before we close the call and do our group hug?
It's a pleasure chatting with everyone, and thank you.
Sending blessings and energy to all beings because they all need it right now. May everybody be happy and free. You know that chant? In that chant? Lokat samashta sukhino bhavantu.
No.
I have. There is one in my Buddhist practice, which is may all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all beings be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings experience limitless joy, and may all beings be free of abide in equanimity, which is free from attachment and aversion to all other beings, regardless of whether they seem likable or not.
Thank you.
Okay.
So be it.
Thank you.
So when we're done the call, I will send everybody a link to this recording.
Thank you.
Yeah. Great.
I'm going
really
to post on my Facebook page a copy of the permit from the city of Boulder.
You're going to post what?
The permit that I'm going to pick up today from the city of Boulder says I can talk about pee drinking in Boulder out in the public.
Good, man.
All right, guys.
All
Yes.
right.
That's it for now.
Lovely to meet
Blessings
you all.
to each and every one of you.